What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about Iron Man. You see, I've been playing an almost obscene amount of Marvel Champions lately, and I've just sessioned, let's just say, a lot of games with Iron Man. And I want to make some more videos about Marvel Champions, what with my increasing love of it and all of that. So I thought, you know what? Iron Man's famous for his armor and his upgrades, so we should rank out the upgrades and give us a chance to have a bit of a chat about them. So let's do that, shall we? Now, we do need to have a quick start off having a look at Iron Man for anyone who might be a little bit unfamiliar. If we have a look at Iron Man, well, it doesn't look great. The thwart of 2 is alright, but the attack of 1, defense of 1 is bad. Hit points of 9 are bad, and the hand size of 1 is laughable. Like full bore laughable. But you do get +1 hand size for each tech upgrade you control, up to a maximum hand size of 7. What that means is that once you get enough armor on there, you actually have a larger hand size than most other characters. Most characters don't get a hand size of 6. So that's a good thing. To be fair, most heroes end up a hand size of 5 at the most. In fact, all heroes have a hand size of 5 at the most, and She-Hulk's only got 4. So it's kind of cool to get 5, let alone 6 or 7. But you've got to get the armor out first. So you end up in alt mode, or alter ego mode, too much Transformers, for a few turns here, getting set up, getting your armor, and using Futurist to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, adding 1 to your hand and scrapping the other 2, and hoping your opponent doesn't go too nuts with scheming. And there are 5 pieces of armor that you can find, and we need to sort them out. So let's start off at number 5 with Powered Gauntlets. Let's be clear, I ain't saying Powered Gauntlets is a bad card. Powered Gauntlets is a good card. The only thing I am saying is, it is the weakest of his 5 armors. Now, Powered Gauntlets is a 2-cost upgrade, and it's got a hero action, so can't use it in alter ego mode, because he's not Iron Man in alter ego mode, he doesn't have the armor, whereby you exhaust it to deal 1 damage to an enemy, but 2 damage instead if you have the aerial trait. More on the aerial trait in a moment. And dealing 2 damage can be really, really good. If you end up against Claw, that's a weapons runner just going down in one go. Otherwise, you're just chipping away and a little bit of extra damage here or there. Taking out minions, chipping down the villain, all of that good stuff. It's decent extra damage. But it doesn't get discarded or any of that. It's an every turn kind of thing as long as you're in hero mode. But in theory, you should be able to use it either at the start of your turn before you flip to alter ego mode, or at the end of your turn after you flip into hero mode. Either way, you should be alright here. But in at number 4, we've got Mark V Helmet. It is a 1-cost upgrade. As a side note, that's the only reason it came in at number 4. I see these first 2, 4 and 5, as extremely similar cards, which are pretty much as good as each other. But the big difference here is this is a 1-cost. And it's got a hero action that thwarts. You exhaust it to remove 1 threat from a scheme. But if you've got the aerial traits, you remove it from each scheme. So, I mean, Rhino loves bringing out breaking and taking, as an example. And then, of course, if you've got the Wrecking Crew out, it's even better, because the Wrecking Crew comes in with 4 side schemes at once, so it's quite nice to be able to take 1 from all of those side schemes, and from the main scheme. This is your I need to thwart, and Powered Gauntlets is I need to do a little bit of damage. They're both very good, but I think they're clearly 4 and 5. Because in at number 3, we've got Rocket Boots. And you see, Rocket Boots is what makes this all work. It is a 1-cost upgrade that gives you 1 more hit point. Now, it's not limited to 1, and there are actually 2 that you get in the deck, so the good news is you can have a couple different Rocket Boots on, boost up your HP. And that's important because your HP of 9 is low, ladies and gentlemen. Like, properly low. as in it is the lowest of any hero. But you've got good ways to boost it, and this is one. But if you spend a science resource, you gain the aerial trait until the end of the phase. So once you use rocket boots to get rid of a science resource, then all of a sudden Mark V helmet is thwarting 1 from every scheme. And powered gauntlets is doing 2 damage, and you do get a couple of powered gauntlets as well, so you can potentially be doing a huge amount of damage here. You know, doing an extra 4 damage every single turn. For those of you wondering, powered gauntlets and rocket boots are the only 2 you get 2 copies of. All the others are one-offs. So you're getting an extra hit point, and really this has got to go at number 3. It's got to go at number 3. Because you can't use powered gauntlets or Mark V helmet to their potential without rocket boots. And rocket boots is giving you extra hit points, which helps to solve one of the biggest problems of Iron Man, which is the HP. Although, to be fair, Iron Man's got a lot of problems, including low defense and low attack, low hand size, low hit points. I love playing as Iron Man, incidentally. Iron Man after Spider-Man. It's my second favourite character in the game, but it's also my second favourite of the heroes that have made it into the game yet. Might be a coincidence, might not. But Rocket Boots is pretty good. Let's put it that way. In at number 2, Mark V Armour. It's a free cost upgrade, making it significantly more expensive than the others, but it gives you plus 6 hit points. And if you hit this early enough, then you become really quite beefy. Because you see, 9 hit points is low, but it's not that low. You know, Spider-Man and Miss Marvel have 10 each. The highest is She-Hulk with 15. And as soon as you whack Mark V armor on, you get 15 hit points. Plus potentially an extra 1 or 2 from using rocket boots as well. And this is important, because you'll notice that all of these upgrades are for your hero. Mark V helmet and powered gauntlets only work when you're in hero mode. They're hero actions. The last one ready to go is a hero action. So you need to be in hero mode a lot. Which means that especially in the mid to late game, you're going to be spending a lot of time in hero mode doing some attacking. And having those extra hit points is huge. Yes, of course, you can flick back to Tony Stark and do a bit of recovery and all of that. Of course you can. But you need to be in hero mode for all of your extra skills here. Having the extra 6 hit points is absolutely huge. Incidentally, you do get the extra 6 hit points even when you're in alter ego mode, so apparently this armor gets worn at home. But if you've played many games as Iron Man, you will know that Arc Reactor is number 1, and it's not even close. Arc Reactor is one of these cards where a lot of the time, your success or failure against a particular villain will depend on whether you found Arc Reactor quickly or not. When you're using Futurist early on in the game to dig for cards, you are looking for Arc Reactor before basically anything else. It's kind of got to be done. You see, what Arc Reactor does is it's got a hero action whereby you exhaust Arc Reactor and ready Iron Man. Which is stupid good, right? Absolutely stupid good. Essentially, what you do here is get to use Iron Man twice. So you fought twice, attacked twice. You get to do something even though you defended against the villain the previous turn, because you're using this to ready you. Or you can thwart for 2 and then ready and then flick to Tony Stark and recover. There are a lot of great things that you can do here, but the point very simply is it lets you use everything twice. Whether you're thwarting, attacking, you can't recover twice, okay, fair dues. And you can't defend twice, but you can attack or thwart in the same turn as you recover, or the turn after you've defended. It's absolutely phenomenal. And of course, when we put all of this together, you start to understand why Iron Man's stats are so low. Yes, his HP sucks, But when you add in Mark 5 armor and rocket boots, he becomes the beefiest character we've got. Yes, his attack and defense suck. But if you're doing that as one of your 2 basic actions per turn, then all of a sudden it becomes a whole heap better. The attack is low, but powered gauntlets are like, yeah, I've got your back, mate. Your hand size is terrible, but once you've got 5 bits of armor on, or if you get really lucky 6, there are 7 total in the deck, then all of a sudden you've got a hand size of 7. And now you've got the highest hand size. And all of a sudden Iron Man goes from being the worst statted character we've got, and objectively speaking when you start the game he is, to probably the best statted character we've got. And as a side note, and it took me probably about 1.5 games to really realise this with Iron Man, and probably a bunch of you too, when you're playing as Iron Man, get the armour. Seriously, get the armour. In the first few turns as Iron Man, you need to make sure the villain's not scheming until they win and knocking you out and all of that, but generally speaking, first couple turns as Iron Man, get the armour. Because once you've got the armour on, Iron Man is an absolute beast. But if you want a great challenge, try playing Iron Man without attaching the armour and see how long you last. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's my TED Talk on Iron Man. That's my ranking of the armour, but I'd like to know what you think. Do you disagree with any of them? Although, a lot of time when I do lists, I don't feel good. I feel absolutely great about the 1 to 5 list. I would not change a thing. I feel really good. But tell me if you disagree. Tell me your Iron Man stories in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Marvel Champions and a whole bunch of other games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.